It's not about the ads, it's about the energy. This is something that I have been teaching and preaching for as long as I can remember. So let's break it down. You can spend all the money you want on a Facebook ad, on a lead generation website, on fancy postcards. You can spend all the money you want on strategy. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to your energy. All boils down to your energy. So let's break it down and look at what I'm talking about. So I have written a book called The Referability Factor, and I think I wrote it maybe 5 years ago. And in this book, I take consumer psychology and I explain some of these basic elements of biochemistry. So I'll give you a little rundown here so you can apply it to yourself and your business. So think about when you are calling a prospect, for example. If you don't have the energy that says, I'm expanded, I'm open for new business, I'm a great person to work with, I'm effective and I'm ethical. If you don't have that energy, that's going to come through. And people can say, well, that can't come through in an email, but it does. Why? Because we are electromagnetic beings. We are. Our thoughts are electrical, our feelings, our emotions are magnetic. The two combine, it creates an electromagnetic field that then radiates outward, attracting to it like vibrations, like frequencies. So if I have the energy of scarcity, of fear, of not enoughness, it's going to radiate outwards. And then who am I going to attract? People who are like, not enough, can't afford to pay you, want to haggle over your fees. Let me give you another example. Let's say you're picking up the phone. So a lead called you back from your email. Holy cow, that's amazing. And you start talking. In your voice carries vibration. In your voice, across the waves, the satellite waves, they will pick up unconsciously what your energy is like. Let me give you an example. There have been studies where they've taken people who are congenitively blind, like born without vision, and they can put faces of different people in front of them with looks of terror, with looks of laughter and joy, and they can tell you which it is. And that's because there's so much more going on. You know, we have such a tiny amount that we can see. And I did a video on this, I don't know how long ago, where I talk about with our visual spectrum, we see this much, but there's really this much to see. It's just, this is what we see with our eyes. So we assume that that's all that's out here. Not true, right? That's another story. So the bottom line here is that people will pick up on our fear, our low self-esteem, and they'll be repelled by it. You know, haven't you ever gone somewhere, maybe a car lot, a used car lot, and you were just repelled by the pushy energy? Likewise, have you ever talked to someone who you just couldn't put your finger on it, but just something about them just wasn't right? It's because you unconsciously, if you're in touch with your emotions and your feelings and your body, the more you are, the more intuitive you are. And a lot of people, a lot of us, especially in this industry, are running around in our heads, not in our bodies, so we miss a lot of it. And I cannot tell you, in fact, I'll do a video about the importance of intuition, especially in the real estate business. But for right now, just understand that your energy emits outward. And you cannot, what is that old saying? You can't put lipstick on a pig. You can't do anything. I don't care if you dress in Gucci. Gucci will not cover up low energy. And it's because it's not physical. It's not physical and it's far reaching. How are you going to cover that up? And the people that are perceiving your energy field don't even know that they're doing it. So tell me if you can think of one single way that you can fake it till you make it. You can't. You can't fake it until you make it, because energy is invisible, but it's very real. It's running your life, and it's having an impact on all the people that your energy field comes across. And it's playing a role in attracting people to you or repelling people from you. This is why I always start by explaining that your story, the thoughts you think, that's the electrical impulses, and your state, the feelings you feel, your emotional, your state and your story, always come before strategy. Because our strategy is what we do, not who we be. And so we're really talking today about understanding your electromagnetic field, and that how it's your thoughts and your emotions that predict, it indicate, tell you what that quality of energy is. So I always tell agents, anyone I'm working with, let's work on your energy first. How do you work on your energy? What do you do? Well, first of all, you find a way to get back in your body. We cannot work, and trust me, I was someone who the first 45 years of my life lived in my head. I had already written, I knew all the neuroscience stuff. I knew all the quantum physics stuff. I'd written probably 10 books by that time. Maybe even 12. So I knew intellectually, but I was living in my head. I hadn't yet understood or learned how to embody it. And it's only when we embody the energy of alignment, I'll talk about that in a second. It's only when we embody the energy of alignment that we change our energetic field. Okay? Living in our heads is impossible to affect our energy. Why? Because when we're living in our heads, we're constantly looking for danger. That's what the human body was designed to do. The human brain is designed to make us look around and say, does that look scary? Is that safe? Is that dangerous? We're not looking for good things. That takes time and effort and intention and focus to look for the good things, right? We're on the lookout for danger. We're looking for it, and you know what we focus on expands. So if I'm looking for danger, living in my head, I'm going to come across all sorts of things to be scared about, aren't I? Look at the bank balance. Look at the IRS. Look at this. Look at that. That's living in our head. That's living in a high beta brainwave. But when we learn to calm our brainwaves and sink into our body, that's when we can operate at the level what I call super consciousness. Now, here's a catch, and this is something else that I'm really talking about a lot in my current book project, which the project actually has the word super conscious in the title. Not exactly sure how, but it does. It will. But in my book, Mind Over Matter, is when I really started addressing where the big change was for me, was getting the trauma and frozen energy out of my body. Because that energy is in your body and it's stuck. And we have to get that out. Now you can do it with like yoga, with qigong, with screaming into a pillow. You know, I used to go, years ago, I had a therapy friend, and she used to have us hit a pillow. She used to have us a body punching bag, and we would hit it with a bat. So all of these things can get this energy out of your body. But here's the problem. If we haven't gotten the energy out of our body, it's frozen, and then something else happens, and we stuff it back down there. Now we are stuffed up to here. So of course we're living in our heads, because there's no room in here for us. It's a bunch of frozen trauma. So we have to release that trauma, get it out of our body, right? Reduce our brain waves, and from that place, be grateful, be loving. All the things that we've heard about for I don't know how many thousands of years. All the things that, you know, the great sages have taught us, that all the people in the Bible have taught us, all different Bibles, right? It's all the things. It's the love, it's the gratitude, it's the forgiveness, it's the compassion, it's the generosity. But we, in our busy beta brainwaves, we are running around doing, and we're thinking, oh yeah, love, forgiveness, yeah, got that, check. There ain't a checkbox for that stuff. It's a way of being. It's a way of being. So when we sink into our bodies, not just our heads, we sink into our bodies and we breathe and we calm our brain waves and we find a way to feel good. That is the trick. Find a way to feel good. I call it the feel good frequency. You got to find a way to feel good. And sometimes you can't go from feeling flat out crappy to amazing. Sometimes you got to hit neutral. And that's as good as you can do for that day. And that's okay. Because neutral is a lot better than stuffing it. If you have a bad day, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get to love and joy. I can't do that. No, but can you release that emotion? Can you let go? Like let that energy process out of your system so that you can be at neutral. And from neutral, we can build to amazing, right? And so as you start to do this a little bit every day, you find yourself being more present, calmer, less reactive, and guess what? You have just absolutely changed your electromagnetic field. You've changed it. You've raised your frequency or your vibrations, however you want to look at it. Frequency is how fast a vibration is vibrating. But people tend to use them synonymously, which isn't actually correct scientifically, but it doesn't matter. However you want to say it. The bottom line is we want to be the person who is in alignment. And I said I'd talk about alignment, so really quickly I will. Alignment is when your feelings and your actions are at the same level of energy as your intentions. So if your intention is to be a wealthy, healthy, real estate agent, for lack of a better term, and that's over here, but you're over here acting like a nervous, pushy salesperson, that's not alignment. Never the twain shall meet. That's not alignment. So as long as your energy is in scarcity and not enoughness and fear, you can't reach alignment for that kind of energy. And I promise you, that's the energy that you want to have to attract that life. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I thank you for watching. Check out my free class below. It's pretty new. If you haven't watched it before, I think I just published it in December of 2024. So I hope you take a look at it, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.